Welcome to another episode of Marketers Talking AI. We miss your faces.
It's
We
been
have
too
been
long.
busy, off kind of traveling. Pavel, tell the audience, where have you been?
Hello everyone. I have been in Boston for the B2B Sales and Marketing Exchange 2023. Um, it was great to be at a conference. I haven't been in a in-person conference since before the pandemic, so it's been years.
Oh man, yeah.
And it just felt nice to be around people, around professionals in your space, sharing ideas, talking about what people have been up to. It's just, I don't know. It's like being at a music festival. There's something to the energy and kind of being in that environment.
Yeah.
Um, Spoke to a lot of smart people, learned some things with B2B marketing, where the industry's going. Talked about AI, marketers talking to AI. Even
Uh,
if we're not doing a show, I'm out there. um, it was cool. Some of the things that jumped out, everyone recognizes the power of AI, the disruptive power of AI in whatever their departments are doing, their teams are doing, and the industry as a whole. However, it doesn't seem like there is a solution or a framework or a specific product that B2B marketers are behind or recommending or on the same page, which makes sense. AI is super new. It's one thing
yeah.
to talk about a company like HubSpot, let's say, it's well established, like that's the tool. There's nothing that exists like this on the AI side. So when I spoke to them about the projects and the tools that we've been developing, there was definitely a lot of interest. So it does seem that B2B marketing leaders and sales leaders are interested in things. They're themselves trying out Chat GPT, kind of like playing around with it, but it doesn't seem that many companies have made a wholesale commitment to stay up to date with the technology and empower their workforce yet.
You
Yet.
know, I've been on a little rant about it recently, but I think one of the things that is, I would say, limiting the rise of this like phenomenal app that all marketers are using is that a lot of the AI tooling that we're seeing being sold to marketers today is built by non-marketers. Even
Mm,
some of, so we have Fill Your Content Calendar, which is a content generation tool. When we're looking at other content generation tools out there, the leaders in the space are built by developers and like PE firms and business people who are seeing AI as a way to really capitalize and make money versus I think coming at it from the standpoint of how do we use this really cool tool to
hmm
build better tooling for the industry that we have spent our careers working in that we want to make better.
right.
Soapbox over, but
No, that's an excellent point because I do think the ultimate application of AI has to come again from the experts, and it, a non-marketing expert can only go as far in creating a tool that not only takes the marketing principles and kind of like the strategy and the knowledge part, but also the practitioner part, the workflows, the operations. Like, if you don't know how the work gets done, how content gets created, what gets done with it, how it ties into the buyer journey, then it's difficult to create a tool that really then speaks to the expert marketer. So um, and I imagine this is in many other industries, and I'm sure there's AI tools for real estate agents. But unless you're a real estate agent, you don't really know how to put that into practice. Or fitness, you could ask ChatGPT for a workout routine, but if you're an expert, you're gonna know that that's not enough. So, um, yeah,
yeah.
it's good to see that there's lots of blue ocean left.
Yeah, if you feel similarly, please tell me so I'm not alone. Message me on LinkedIn and be like, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, speaking of AI, actually, I have what I think is exciting news. I
Mm.
received my $4 Mid-Journey magazine. It's a little bit tattered. And we mentioned and we talked earlier about what I was ordering and what it was going to be like. And I just want to give a quick review of the Mid-Journey magazine, print medium. You can't tell me this only costs $4 to print and ship. It's definitely losing money on it. I love it. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally like a collection of art from Midjourney, and then it includes the
Real
prompt.
trippy.
And
I
I'm
like
reading,
that.
yeah, like look at this, okay? And the prompt is, "We are eternity, agape."
Wow.
I can't get shit that looks like this. And there's some really cool ones in here. There's a ton of art. Some of them also include stories. So there is in here. I thought this was really interesting. It's I'm gonna butcher the name. So it's this character, and then it's like tell the story behind one of the images. And the person said the key to using Midjourney for 3D modeling reference, so they're using that to make references for 3D models, was to generate all of the character views in the same image. And there's some things like how do you balance your artistic pursuits with other aspects? So some of this is just really human. Like,
Mhm.
how do you find inspiration for your artwork and what techniques or strategies do you use to stay creative? I really like it. And I think I'm going to take some of these. This one here, actually, I thought was really interesting. It's like a mirrored ball.
Hmm.
And the prompt was my reflection behind a perfect mirror sphere. I thought it was really interesting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like a high schooler or a young person, and I'm going to cut these out and put them on my walls. I'm going to frame them. This is my favorite one, though. It's a gentleman in a big bok choy because I feel like this could be on a fashion runway. I really like it. I'm excited. I'm going to cut a ton of these out and put them around the office as our new office art. And I'm also going to try taking inspiration from some of the prompts. This one is
Mm.
like it's like an embroidered tapestry looking of a
Ooh.
ram. I think they're really interesting. I was really impressed, and I am looking forward to next month to get my or not
So
month,
it's
quarterly. I think it's
monthly, quarterly?
quarterly.
Okay.
It's I don't know. I feel like I should know that. It's $4 though, is what I'll tell you.
What I like in witnessing this is the human reaction to creativity, no matter the form. And you think about the curatorial aspect of this magazine. Again, I'm sure they were going through hundreds of images, whatever their process was in judging what goes into the magazine. It's still a very human endeavor of like sitting in our own room, picking
Yeah.
images, doing the layout of the magazine.
I wonder if they
you know,
used AI to help actually like do it.
yeah, I would be curious to
But
see what the selection criteria were.
oh, it's monthly. Also, it's a
Okay.
monthly publication. So
But yeah, I think it's again interesting to see that humans are really good at discerning. Like if someone asked you to draw, a prompt with the man with the bok choy, you wouldn't like know where to start. But if you see like an image, you already have an idea of like this is like a perfect fit. Like this clicks in my head of a
yeah.
great image. We're really good at selecting and knowing what jumps out. Because again, when I go through
Mhm.
my Discord feed on Midjourney, like certain things jump out and you can't get away from that.
Yeah. When I purchased my first house, I had no clue what I was looking for. And so I went to just a ton of open houses and I was like, I know what I don't like. And so I'll just
Yeah.
start with what I don't like. And I'm just going to go look at houses until I figure out like something that works. And then I walked into one house and I was like, this is it. I'm done. I want this house.
Hmm.
And I never like if I described what I wanted, it would have fit it partially, but I wouldn't have been able to describe it fully. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's true. Like humans, when we have options, we can easily make a decision
Yeah.
on it. But starting from nothing can be just totally
Yeah.
overwhelming to get there.
Yeah. And I think that sense of obviousness that comes afterwards, we think about like companies like Uber. It's like once you hear the idea, once you experience, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is an obvious like idea. And you couldn't have imagined a world without it. But if someone said, hey, like come up with like a world changing idea on the spot, you're not gonna think of Uber. But after you're exposed to the idea, after there's that click of like, yes, like this
Yeah.
is exactly what I need and it makes sense. And I do imagine a lot of marketing being like that. Like
Can I
the
share my other favorite thing I'm excited about?
yes, we
It's
have
Be
an allowance
Fake.
of two.
Yes, it's Be Fake. So, for those who haven't seen it yet, it's just adjusting in my chair. Be Fake is essentially be real, but not. So, if you think about, I have it up on my phone. If you think about the Be Real interface, when you get there, there is, you take a picture of yourself, and then it gives you the picture of the thing you're looking at, and then it will take that image and it will put it through an AI generator to give you an alternative image. So I'm gonna call Pavel did his earlier. We were playing with it, and he's like an astronaut in space. Um,
It reminded me of being like a DJ in the future in space. I know
I'm.
there was no
Oh
prompt. I didn't
yeah,
put in a prompt or anything. You just take the photo, you know,
yeah,
selfie and outside, and then it generates whatever it
yeah.
comes up
And
with.
if you don't like it, you can change the prompt around. I'm in a cave watching someone drown. I think it's made of nightmare fuel. But yeah, you can also, and then they have some discoverability. So like the top fake is a really muscular, we should just try and insert these, but a really muscular man who's clearly on a plane watching something. So there's some exploration. Oh, you know what's so funny? I just realized you can see the original image.
Ah,
Oh no, I can't
wait.
do it. Bam.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So the way that this app
This
was
is so
described
cool.
by the CEO is that she believes that there is a sense of authenticity that comes about when you're not forced to have to use like real images, which I think is an interesting perspective. It's not necessarily wrong,
Yeah.
um, but I think our sense of authenticity shifts because, again, to go back to the mid journey thing, like your creation that it makes, you either accept it or you regenerate it based on what values, whatever like image it hits into your mind. So
Yeah.
I do foresee that if there's a group of people using it en masse, there will emerge like, you know, an archetype of like, you know, these people like to express themselves this way. Like these are the influencers, these are
Yeah.
the fitness people, these are the business people. Like there's
Well,
always going to be groups
I
like
think it
that.
is, when I think back to when Snapchat first rolled out filters, like that
Yes.
was, I want to say revolutionary. I feel like I'm being a bit dramatic. But when Snapchat first rolled out filters, that was a huge thing. And you'll see people where they talk about like online dating again, catfish. Like, I don't want someone who's like a walking Snapchat filter. I don't
Yeah.
want someone who's all filtered. And when we see images on dating sites, I go back to dating because I think that's like the most relevant recent experience I've had. But in online dating sites, you see someone, you go, oh, they're using filters. They
Yeah.
got the beauty filter on their Android turned on. They're using like, it's not that they have makeup on and better lighting,
Yeah.
it's are they using filters? And you can see that it's fake. This is just like leaning into it completely.
Yeah.
Who would your
So
fake self be if your fake self could be anything?
yes, and that's the I think the game that we play with in that sense. When you brought up the Snapchat filters, my mind actually went to the bunny ears, or not the bunny ears, the puppy
Dog,
ears, like
yeah, with
the
the tongue and everything.
because I that
That's like
was
the
like a
iconic
viral
one.
thing,
Yeah.
hmm
I put
where
it on my
it's
cat once.
where it's not even, hey, I'm gonna make you look more beautiful, get rid of your blemishes. Like it's not beauty in that direction. It's a
Yeah.
completely fantastical thing of like we're gonna put a
Yeah.
dog face on you, and people are
And
like, yes.
the little flower headband
Yeah,
thing.
and
Yeah.
you can then make a decision of like, okay, the people who use the flower headband versus, you know, I'm sure there's like some commonality that exists in the same way that what, you know, brand of clothing you wear, like it associates you with that. Um, what you mentioned about people getting good at spotting the fakes, I feel like that's another superpower that like humans have, and it will be a very valuable skill for the next few years to be
Yeah.
able to spot like AI generated anything. Um,
So, if I can go down a conspiracy theory route for just a brief second, I saw a thing on, I don't know, TikTok or somewhere on the internet, probably TikTok, and it said, because we as humans, when we see things that aren't quite human but are pretending to be human, like uncanny valley,
Uncanny
we call it.
Valley.
Yeah, we get heightened, right? We biologically know to be afraid of it.
Mhm.
And so if we have developed to be afraid of things that are trying to look human that aren't quite human, what in the past predator was coming after us that was trying to look human that isn't quite human? The Egyptians, the pyramids, all the alien shit with that. That's what
Oh,
we're
the
saying is like, could it have been in the past there was like aliens and like AI and such that came, you know, wiped us out, the dinosaurs, and then we're just going back through that whole cycle.
Could be. They do
Why are
say
we afraid of things that look human that aren't human? Why are we innately afraid of it and not curious about it?
that's a deep
44% of
question.
marketers, yeah, 44% of marketers have been scared by AI in the last month.
That's a strong word, scared. Like, they
Yeah.
wake up in the middle of the night like, I'm curious what the fear was, but, uh
Statistically
yeah,
speaking,
yeah,
one
there's
of
a
us
fear.
has been scared.
Ugh, damn,
Have you been
it's not
scared by
me.
AI?
Well, speaking of scary AI, so I saw this in the news, but then I confirmed it with my sister. For context, my sister is mid-teens, so she is very much in the Gen Z stage. But Snap just had like some really weird, real scary AI moment. So
Oh,
for those who don't know, Snapchat has like an AI assistant that's built into the chat. It acts as your friend. You can ask it questions. Gets to know you, etc. People have been using it, loving it. It's great. It's fun. Whatever. A few days ago, that friend, the AI friend, posted a story to its profile, as you would, any Snap, and it was some like blurry, grainy photo of like a wall. And sorry, it wasn't a photo; it was like a 2-second video,
oh,
and then it went dark. Then like it stopped replying to any messages, which again is very unnerving because you've taught yourself to like
yeah.
have a continuous conversation. It's an AI robot, so it doesn't make sense that it would stop responding. I talked to my sister about it, and she was like, "Yeah, it was like super creepy. It was like weird, and like people have described that as a scary experience because also the way the wall looks, it kind of looks like it could be your wall. It's one of these like,
Oh,
remember the blue green dress versus blue and gold dress.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
whatever you look at it,
Just
it's
like
like I don't know, could be my wall. This could be
yeah.
literally
A
a
wall is a
picture of my
wall. Everyone's
a
got
wall is
one.
a wall.
Some people have
So
4.
and yeah, and that was like the
That's
first time that
creepy.
I've heard someone describe like a
Yeah,
social media interaction, not with a human, because obviously many people have had scary, creepy moments on social. Someone stalking or
oh,
saying
yeah.
something, whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
this is the first time that it's like the platform itself, like the bot in it
Well, you know what's
created this.
interesting? My first thought was, I bet someone didn't know they were logged in as the it's like someone was logged in as the AI, and they were into the account doing something, tried to just test something and took a thing, posted it, realized what they did, didn't know how to fix it, and just, like, shut it down. Like, when the intern at HBO sent the test email.
Yeah.
That was my first thought, but it feels like everyone else's first thought is that the AI has become self-aware.
Yes, and that's something
Yeah.
else that was prevalent in the comments. Like, oh, like you've gained sentience, and yeah, this is and I don't know how prevalent fears were of previous technologies. I was reading through like a technology journal and culture, and people were afraid of electricity. Like, when
Yeah.
electricity was becoming widespread, like people were,
Cameras.
um, yeah,
People are
yeah,
terrified
yeah.
of cameras that they would steal your soul.
Yeah. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if my take on technological innovations is usually it's more of the same. We just kind of forget in the moment of, we think that this is it. This is
Yeah.
the biggest thing. So maybe this is a regular reaction to technology. The question you asked about the uncanny valley, that's super interesting. I'm going to think about that. I feel like there is some
Yeah.
philosophical legs there, but it is interesting. We're reaching these points that we're talking about AI and technology in general through a lens of fear, through a lens of like survival, beyond just like, we need this as a tool or something, but this is like on its way to sentience. And that is what people.
Well, I do find it somewhat interesting, and this is I'm gonna go down a little bit of a macabre path here with it. You know, machine learning has been around for a long time. AI is not new. Watson beat that one guy at chess, right? Watson was on Jeopardy. Didn't he?
Mhm.
He went against that one nerd that's the host sometimes now. Ken Jennings.
Ken Jennings,
Wow, great. That should be his introduction. Ken
some
Jennings, if
nerd.
you're seeing this, I hope you appreciate it. But when we think about technology, IBM played a large role in World War II in the Holocaust and the identification of Jewish populations across Europe. IBM played a role in it because
Hmm.
they had machines that allowed for better sorting to find identity cards and such. Like, technology for a long time has played a role in bad things
Yeah.
happening. It's also
Yeah.
played a role in good things happening. Like,
Yeah.
AI is bringing forth the ability, especially for persons with disabilities or who need assistance. Like, AI is revolutionizing the quality of life for a lot of people. But technology's always been a double-edged sword with it.
Yeah.
There's always been bad sides to it.
So then my question is on the marketing side too, then like what is, because every technology has like again the two side of things. And on the marketing side, even as we're talking about the B fake,
Yeah.
what is the danger to marketing as a whole from AI? Like the fears that
Yeah.
marketers have, the 45% of it, I'm curious where it stems from and what can be done about it. If you're a marketer who is not afraid of AI, are you in the wrong? Like, should we be more afraid? Is
Well,
there something that we don't
you
know?
know, I think on the content side, when you think about, I feel like content creation often is like a very bespoke crafted experience, and there's an art to it. And you now have a lot of, because a lot of the tools we're seeing, they're either design focused, or which I'll say a lot of the design focused ones are just templates being called AI, or they're content creation. And so I could see as like a creative marketer a fear of this thing that takes me a long time to do and is like very manual and bespoke is now going to be commoditized. Video editing, there's tools for video editing for like pulling together multiple views that will go through and figure out the best view for the person who's talking at the time and auto splice up your video to give you that one smooth video of three different camera angles pulled together. Takes 15 minutes at the most, baby, to render an hour-long video of 3 or 4 different camera angles. That used to be a week-long process.
Hmm.
And it's going to commoditize a lot of the marketing practices that used to be very, very much seen as an art and a craft, not a
Yeah.
science.
Yeah, I think that there's a cycle. I'm sure some person, professor, talk like some commodification cycle,
Yeah.
similar to like the innovator curve, where you have early adopters. I think there is a cyclical nature to industries between commodification and customization.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you go too much into the customization route as an industry, the commodification, because we tend to say commodification as a negative thing, like
I've
we
never
treat it.
said commodification. Just as a word. Interject that. But yes.
um
We do
when
see it as a negative. We do see it as a
Yeah,
negative.
when things become commodities, we see
Yeah.
that as like it's a cheapening of it. But I guess the
Yeah.
other part of what the commodity is, it's standardized. That's why we love templates, we love frameworks. We need some sort of like understandable, digestible thing. Um, and there is, I think, a fear because when I even at the conference when I talked to people about AI, I had one person who kind of pushed back. It's like, well, are you not worried about like the contributing to like the noise on the internet? And I think that that is a fair point. The noise that we are contributing, but then you think about the collective noise of social media and everything that people are posting. It's like, I don't know, it's like being worried about like throwing too much of a bucket of water into the ocean.
Yeah.
And on some level, the medium is the message right now. Like the medium is these algorithmic feeds that everyone is just consuming from. Us throwing an extra few drops into it with AI generated content, even if it's great, highest quality possible, or terrible, low quality, just content farm content. On the flip side, you then have AI and machine learning that helps filter that feed. So then
Yeah.
it kind of, again, it goes back to that point of you have the tool being used against itself, and
Yeah.
it's helping balance out the system. Um, but I think we're in this phase of commodification, and I think there's going to be a big opportunity for customization for companies in terms of thinking about their processes, their products, and how these tools help. Um, and I'm curious to see what companies emerge out of this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, part of when something becomes commoditized too, it becomes more accessible. So your like small business, your Etsy shop owner, your small business owner who typically wouldn't be able to afford this stuff
Yeah.
can now have a leg up and start competing with larger shops who maybe are a little bit slower to adopt it too.
Yeah. Yeah, like, websites have become
Yeah.
commoditized because of things like Squarespace and
Squarespace, yeah.
Wix. And now Squarespace and Wix are also some of the big companies who are pushing heavy into AI innovation with,
Yeah.
being able to generate websites with a prompt.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm a website designer, I would be afraid,
The
but
theme that we use has AI built into it, and so,
for the
we were
CSS, that's
yeah,
yeah,
within the CSS, there's like a it's AI built into a ton of different parts, but on the CSS side, I wanted to hide the date, and I didn't know how to, so I just typed "hide date," and it gave me the code to use to make it hide the date,
yeah,
and I
and it
was
puts
like,
it into the custom
"Yeah,
CSS, and you just literally
yeah."
hit publish, and it's
I
done.
would have spent, like, 40 minutes Googling that stuff.
It would have taken me years because I don't know what CSS,
I
like,
would have
really
gave up.
is.
Oh, I don't know either.
Like, I know it's important, but, like, I'm
Yeah.
not a developer.
But we don't even need to know it anymore. You don't even need to develop. You used to have to I used to this is gonna age me so much. I used to build websites on GeoCities for people back when Dreamweaver was the new technology. And Dreamweaver was revolutionary because you could build a visual site and it would turn it into code for you. And before that, like you would build websites in text pads using HTML. And now, like, no one's doing that. It's all
Yeah,
visual drag and drop,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that the marketers that, again, that are excited by this, that see the potential of it, there will always be a room for them. There will always
Yep.
be a room for new tools, for new systems. But at the end of the day, it's how do you take those systems? How do you tie it back to the business? Um, that was like another, I think, big theme from the conference too. It's, the alignment of the different departments, aligning marketing with sales internally. How do you unify the processes? Tools can't solve that. If anything, tools will create more confusion, more mess. And if you can't navigate that, the company that outcompetes is the one that knows how to implement it, has clarity on the tools, um, and isn't driven by the commodity offerings and understands how does that actually
Yeah.
fit into their business on a custom level.
I agree, and I think that is a great spot to end the show as our takeaway for marketers. Like when you understand the art of your craft beyond just a tool to get the job done, that's what makes you not have to like fear for your job, right? It's I think also it helps you understand the tools you have and how to better apply them into your craft versus just getting a tool to get a job done that might be not getting the same result and outcome that you're looking for.
Right, right. Um, And I guess the other actionable thing, check out our workshop happening August 29th, 11 days from now, or whenever you're watching it. But
We don't publish
we'll
same day, so definitely not 11 days from now.
uh,
We also don't
we're,
edit, so you're all gonna hear that.
we're going to be talking about both the strategy and the tactics of how to use generative AI for content creation. How do you make that part of your system? And also, how do you look at performance and KPIs to improve that process for you and your team?
So we'll put the link in the description below, and we hope to see you all there. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. See you next week.